welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Check it out, because today we are talking sausage and bacon egg cups. You heard me right, sausage and bacon egg cups. Boy, are you gonna love yourself when you make these wonderful little breakfasts ahead and you've got them on hand all week like I'm gonna have. So let's get started. To make this delicious recipe, here's what you'll need. Of course, the star of the show are the eggs. Here I've got a dozen eggs. These are large eggs that I've already broken out of their shells, and I've added a half a teaspoon each of freshly ground black pepper and kosher salt to this, and we're going to whisk those together. There's my oven preheating to 350 degrees. Next, I've got about a cup of nice crispy bacon that I've chopped up into fairly large pieces, as you can see here. We don't want them too small because we don't want them to disappear. That's actually the reason I've also cubed instead of shredded the cheese. I've got the cheese in some nice small dice. It's about a 1/4 inch dice, as you can see. If I can finally get one in front of the camera, there we go. I like those because they create these really luxurious little pockets of melted cheese, or of just cheese if you eat these cold, in your little egg cup, and it's absolutely delicious. I think it's a better way to do the cheese. I've also got some vegetables here that we're going to add in. I've got about a cup of chopped fresh spinach. It's uncooked. All these vegetables, well, actually, you can do all of these raw. I have some sauteed mushrooms here. This is also about 3/4 of a cup or so that I've chopped up. These I made for another dish the other day, and I'm just going to use the leftovers here. You could use raw mushrooms if you like. I've got about a cup as well of quartered grape tomatoes. You could use cherry tomatoes or big tomatoes if you like, just diced. I've got a half a cup here of sour cream, a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. And you may be wondering why the powdered aromatic products. It's because I really don't want to add any more moisture to this than I already am doing. I've also got a cup here of, this is hot breakfast sausage that I've already fried up, and we're just going to combine these ingredients and get them into their tins. These egg cups are just such a great make-ahead thing to keep around. My husband Carl, he works very early in the morning, and he works pretty far away from here, and he often leaves about 4:45 to 5 or something like that. He likes to grab a couple of these on his way out the door and eat them on his way to work. Here you can see I'm just using a fork to blend the eggs and the seasonings together, and the rest of this is very, very simple. Like I said, it's pretty much dump and go. You get the cheese and the bacon in there. There's really no particular order for this. We're just going to put it all in there. This recipe for me usually makes about 18, maybe more sometimes. But it depends on the amount of the ingredients that you have, and that differs every time I make it to kind of what I have on hand and and how I want to vary it for taste. Get that all in there. We got a little drop of sour cream in the vegetables. That's all right. We're going to dump those in there anyway. And again, like I said, nothing to it. Get all this goodness in there. We're going to mix this up, give it a nice stir. Maybe clean up our board a little bit because I'm a messy cook today, apparently. That's not going to hurt anything in this recipe. And actually, I'm going to switch this fork out for my spatula. And the only real task here, and again, this does not require hardly any cooking skill. If you have an arm that you can move that has a hand on it, you can probably do this, and if not, you could hold the spatula in your mouth or something. Anyway, great recipe to make with your kids, I would think, because again, it's not complicated. You wouldn't have to watch them, just mix it all up together. You can see I got that. I want to incorporate that sour cream in there nicely. And there you have it. Let's get these into some muffin cups. Today I'm using these silicone cupcake molds that I got on Amazon. They're really very cheap. They come in a variety of shapes, as you can see. Actually, the heart-shaped ones don't fit so well in there, so they don't really come out very heart-shaped, but I don't care about that. Now, we're just going to fill these up, pretty much. And I fill them up, now, as you can see, I'm making a little bit of a mess. That's all right. Got a little bit more cheese in there than I want. I'm going to fill these up pretty much all the way to the lip of the cupcake cup. You want to make sure that you get a little of every ingredient in each cup if you can. Make sure you don't have too much cheese in certain ones. That'll make them too soft to pick up. Although on the other hand, how bad is that to have to eat these with a fork? These are just Really, really lovely. Flavorful. Nice combination of veg, egg, and meat. And it's really, if you're a bacon lover and you like a sausage first thing in the morning, this is a great recipe for that. Oops, got a little bit of a mess. I'm going to continue filling these up, and when we get done, we'll put them in the oven. Now, this made exactly 18 for me here, and I just put these in an 8x8 glass dish, the rest of them. They'll be just fine in the oven like that. Before I put these in the oven, though, I just want to make sure, like here you can see there's a lot of cheese on top here. We want to make sure that we redistribute the ingredients if we find that there's too much of one thing in one cup, just to make it a little more, make them each tasty. And we want to make sure we get all those luscious ingredients in each one. Okay, so now we're going to put these in a 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. It's been 25 minutes, and if you want to know whether they're ready or not, what you need to do is touch them. You can see there's a little bit liquid there still. I'm going to give these another 5, maybe even 10 minutes in the oven until they firm up, and we'll be back when that's done. Okay, my timer's just gone off. I had to leave these in for about 35 minutes altogether, and that's not a problem. You just have to wait a little bit. You can see that they're firm to the touch. That's how we can tell that they're perfectly done. Here's my other pan of them. And you can see here as well, firm to the touch. And actually here it's separated away from the little cupcake cup a little bit. Anyway, there we go. And now we're ready to cool these on a rack once they've cooled here for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then of course you can eat them warm right out of the oven. I wait until they cool off completely and I store them, and we eat them for breakfast all week. These are now cool enough to touch, and you can see we're going to pop it out of there, and it holds together very nicely, and it's going to be just delicious. I think it's time for a taste. Well, all right, let's give this bad boy a taste here. Check it out. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, just delicious. Mmm. Nice little cheese pocket there. Of course, there's a nice combination of vegetables in here. The seasonings are all right. It's not too salty. The egg is nice and fluffy. And of course, you've got those meats in there that are salty and very savory, just lovely. I think in just the right proportions. Anyway, listen, before you go, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share, especially share, I suppose, and subscribe. Anyway, thanks for joining us today on Tim Talks. We'll catch you next time.